Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video, quick update to crowdfunding comics for creeps. I apologize, I was always planning on this being a daily thing, and then, oh yeah, making daily YouTube videos is actually kind of a huge investment of time. So I'm going to be doing these, as often as I can, but if I don't have anything huge to update you on, or if I'm just slammed for time, I have a full-time job, I have a family, I have a life. I'm not going to be doing YouTube just to say, hey, campaign's still going. Anyway, how are you? But this time I did want to make one of these videos because we just passed 200%. We're actually sitting at 201 right now, which is amazing. So thank you to anybody who has contributed, who's still planning on contributing. You guys, so you folks are the best. I love you all with all my heart. You're making my dream come true, and I hope you love Keepsakes. And yeah, I will do everything I can to make this one of the coolest horror comics you've ever read. In addition to that little announcement, I just wanted to point out I was interviewed for the Constructing Comics podcast a couple of days ago. It went up. It was a really cool conversation with those folks. They had initially reached out to me on Twitter just because they were looking for people with active crowd funds. I threw my name in the hat, and they had a lot of really interesting questions about the writing process, what I'm planning on doing in the future, sort of my history. So it's been really, really cool seeing that go up and seeing people sort of reacting to that. So I'll put a little link to that in down here. I'll throw up one to the iTunes and then one to the SoundCloud for anybody who isn't a Mac person. I'm a semi-Mac person myself, but my phone isn't, so I never listen to podcasts on the Mac. I also wanted to do another one of my recommendations for anybody who's into horror comics at all. This one is Pim and Francie, The Golden Bear Days, which is a less of a graphic novel, and it's more sort of a collection of short stories and kind of in-process art. It's by a fellow named Al Columbia. Al Columbia is sort of notorious for being the guy who was hired to replace Bill Sienkiewicz on a book called Big Numbers that he was doing with Alan Moore, I think either in the late 80s or early 90s. And he was famous for having something of a breakdown or just kind of a personal freak out and disappearing with the artwork that he had done. Apparently some of it's turned up on the internet, some of it turned up on some album covers that he had constructed. I believe the band was Sevedo. I'm not a big indie rock guy, so I'm not. I know the name and I know that they're extremely important in the indie rock world, but I was always like a goth and industrial person, so that stuff really passed me by. But Pim and Francie is gorgeous. It's very Steamboat Willie-esque, almost like early Fleischer inspired, Disney inspired artwork and drawing, just but utterly nightmarish, like absolutely horrifying. Like it's not particularly like extreme horror. It's not like we're doing an ironic take on Disney. We're not doing Donald Duck being stabbed, but it is very taking a style of artwork which is commonly associated with kind of the innocence of childhood cartoons, and we are using it for evil, and I like that. There are full-length stories in this book, but some of them end up kind of ending haphazardly or just randomly. It's really more of sort of your coffee table book or your artwork you want to look at to feel inspired and feel just kind of appreciate the strangeness and the bizarre nature of the artwork and the bizarre nature of the storytelling. He has a real passion for cartoony but horrifying monsters. Monsters are always going to be a huge thing for me. I love creature design. I love the concept of taking something known and distorting it into something horrifying. Anyway, I've been doing a bunch of like 60-minute videos and nobody's been watching them, so I'm gonna keep this one really short. I think we're under 6 minutes right now. So yeah, if you haven't given to the Kickstarter, please do so. It'll be down there. Check out the podcast interview that I did. It'll be right down there. And I also did I also have written a bunch of short story series that was just put into a narrated YouTube video by Clancy Pasta, who has narrated another of my stories a little while ago. So I will put a link to that also down there. And yeah, thank you so much if you have given to the Kickstarter. Thank you if you're still, if you're on the fence or you're waiting for money to come through. I completely understand. The campaign is going to close down in a couple weeks, but we're already 200% of the way there, and I'm just blown away. So thank you so much.